much, guys. This is great. Thank you so much, Zach. So this is the sex and violence part of the program. Just, you know, if you have problems with sex or violence, you might want to step outside. But look where we are, so I don't know. So this reading's from Identity, which is book 2 in the Phoenix Horizon series. And at this point, both the hero and the villain are uploaded digital beings who have now downloaded and are inhabiting human bodies. The hero, Major Tom, aka Tom Paine, is inside the brain-dead body of the ripped and rakishly handsome Edwin Rosero. And the villain, Carter Potsdam, inhabits a mysterious and lethal woman he calls Winter. Their brains and bodies are hacked and jacked with nanomedicine, brain-computer interfaces, the works to make them more than human. They developed the tech, so far they're the only two of their kind. And this scene takes place on the Long Beach Pier. A statuesque young woman leaned on the dock rail among the fishermen packing up their gear to head home with the day's catch. Tom could only see the back of her, admiring the sunset. Her choppy blonde hair made him freeze mid-stride. She turned, her face bemused. "Hello there, my dear," said Winter. How could Winter be here when she was in a dark room holding his kidnapped son minutes ago? And how did she know where Tom would be? She read the thoughts broadcast on his face. "My dear, you are stupider in every incarnation. I recoded the time on the video. It happened yesterday, not now." She shook her head sadly. "And you haven't complimented me on how marvelous I look." Tom tried to tamp down the rage rising inside him. He could feel his blood vessels dilating, his heart racing again. But he had to stay calm, keep this creature talking. His eyes recorded a live feed and transmitted it to the team, though the images would be distorted through a neural transference disturbance. New information might lead to his son. Winter sauntered down the pier, and Tom had no choice but to follow. "I knew the moment Rosero's body was missing, it'd be the one you'd choose," she said over her shoulder. "Why?" said Tom. "Oh, sweetheart, it's so..." She gestured to his body and squished up her face prettily. "Plebeian. Does anyone take you seriously?" "As usual, you're a fucking peacock." Winter sniffed. "I'm special, and I always will be. At least I didn't kidnap and kill mine." Winter looked surprised. "I'm not dead, and neither are you. This girl's having a hell of a lot more interesting life than she would have." "Can you hear her screaming inside? Do you enjoy it?" Winter's face fell, her charming affect wiped away. "Took care of that. No more dual processing system, just mine." "You bastard," said Tom. "Can't even let her go when you're done with her." "Why would I let her go? I'm quite partial to this body." She seductively slithered closer. "I like who I am. If you haven't noticed, I'm pretty fucking fabulous." Tom's visual cortex, gonadal steroids, and penis noticed. He breathed in and her scent overwhelmed him. She smelled of sex and oblivion, cloaked in the silk of possibility. "Oh, how cute. Youth becomes you," Winter giggled. "And now I have a child. Yours." Her eyes glittered. "He's so much sweeter than I thought he'd be." "Those blue eyes," she sighed. "So like yours. Miss them. That little honey's going to be a lady killer someday. Unlike his daddy." Winter kicked at his groin, but Tom saw it coming and dodged. Instantaneously, she spun again and landed a kick square to his head. Tom staggered back, a trickle of blood running from his ear. He responded with a blistering 1-2 combo assault on Winter's solar plexus. Clearly, they had both downloaded martial arts techniques and both speed computed punches and kicks. She knew Taekwondo, a graceful, elegant martial art, and surprisingly deadly. It suited Carter's personality well. Major Tom had downloaded Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but it didn't feel right, so he let Rosero's body lead. Funny moves, like running in place before a punch. It wasn't pretty, but this body knew Krav Maga. Quickly accessing suggestions from the web, Tom kicked, sweeping Winter off her feet. He dodged and weaved, grabbed legs and arms, and landed satisfying punches of his own. People on the pier moved in closer. Some whipped out goes. Winter rushed Tom, pushing him closer to the gathering, recording what appeared to be a young Latino man beating up a pretty white woman. Was Carter purposely staging this narrative? And what was the story? Sirens wailed in the distance, time to get to the ship. "Where's the launch?" Tom messaged Ruth. "Ancient Slime," said Ruth, 400 feet on left. Docks in 10 minutes. He turned and ran down the concrete pier. Winter chased him, losing ground because her legs were shorter, but it was clear she trained for this new persona. Tom reran the last few minutes of memory. Winter had only breathed when she spoke, or after 30 seconds of running, just like him. He guessed steroids, microbivores, respirocytes, just like him. They were both designed for this. Careening down the long ramp to the boat dock, Winter was only 20 feet behind. He approached the slip where the launch motored yards from the dock. The tremor shot through his head, cascaded down his torso and extremities. In a full seizure, he fell hard on the concrete dock, bruising his hips, shoulders, head. Winter ambled up to his body, flipped him on his back, and straddled his hips, grinding into his pelvis. Then she put her hands around his throat and squeezed. "Respirocytes too? This might take a while," she said. "But hey, it's a nice evening for a strangulation." And between the lack of air, your youth, and, well, if I may say so myself, me, you should pop up underneath me like a turkey timer. She winked. "Or I could hurry up and crush your windpipe, or break your neck and dump you over the side. You'd be completely helpless. Shall I? I'd love to see what happens, you know, out of scientific curiosity." Her head suspended over his, Tom could only watch her gloat and squeeze. He had some oxygen left, but he wasn't sure how much. She leaned over, tightened her grip, and licked his face with a long, languorous brush of her tongue. "I want you to know what humiliation feels like, because from where I'm sitting, it tastes so good." Then she let go and rose. "You'll get up when I let you." "Goodbye, my dear." She winked, blew him an air kiss, and sauntered away, hips swaying insolently. As Tom's respirocytes refilled with oxygen in the final rays of the setting sun, one thought rang through his head on a loop, over and over, cycling in nanoseconds, millions of times. How had Carter hacked him? And why did Winter let him go?